What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Raga YouTube channel, and in this video we're going to be doing a reading for all my Taurus sun sign friends. If you were born between the dates of April 20th and May 20th, then you are a Taurus sun sign, and this video is for you. Today we're going to be doing the month ahead readings for the month of September, and we're going to be doing something a little bit different than my usual routine. I've developed a new spread that I wanted to try out. It's a lot simpler. So I'm curious to know how you guys like it. Do you prefer the old method of month ahead readings, or do you like this new method? Let me know in the comment section. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. Looking at the month ahead, we're going to be using the Tarot Mucha, and this is going to be a 4-card reading, so a lot more simplified. Like I said, remember that this is a general reading. Not everything's going to apply to everybody. Take what works for you, leave the rest. If you would like a personal reading with me where I tap into your energies, and you can head on over to my website, lightofraga.com. The link is in the description to book a personal reading with me. But let's get into it. Let's try this new format out and see what it's got to tell us. The first card we're going to look at is this one, and it represents what you're moving away from in the month of September. What you'll be moving away from this month. And we've got the Page of Swords. Give me a moment here. It looks like a lot of you are moving away from immaturity of the ego mind. The way I see it is the ego mind is a tool that we're blessed with. Just like our hands are tools, our feet are tools, our heart is a tool. I think our mind, our ego logic mind, is a tool as well. Now the problem here with the ego logic mind is that society has taught us to depend on it heavily. Like that's the only tool that we depend on to maybe like make decisions or figure out, solutions to problems. And that's not a good thing. If you're going to use a tool like a hammer for everything, you're going to eat your cereal with a hammer, you're going to hammer nails with a hammer, you're going to, use a hammer as a car key, it's not going to work out. The hammer should be used for hammer type things, just as the ego mind should be used for ego type things. Which is just, basically figuring out simple problems, okay? When I say immaturity of ego, I'm talking about relying on the ego for stupid things. Relying on the ego to tell you how you feel emotionally about something. Relying on the ego to figure out how to behave in a relationship. These are things that the heart should be doing, not the ego. And so what I'm seeing here in September, it might be on a smaller scale, but I'm seeing like a kind of a shift here, moving away from the ego a little bit and using the ego a little bit more for what it's intended to be used for. Hey, I'm hungry. Where am I going to get that next sandwich from? That's what the ego should be like doing. It shouldn't be telling you, oh, next week you got to go to this party and you don't know anyone at the party and you're not going to be able to talk to anybody. You're going to be that loser who sits in the corner alone by himself just staring at the people. Okay? That's ego, and that's ego doing something stupid that's not supposed to be doing. The ego is not supposed to be telling you what the future will be. That's when anxiety and fear and all sorts of horrible things manifest as a result. So that's a good thing, okay, Taurus friends. I think the month of September is going to see you moving away from that a little bit. Okay, but so let's check out what you're moving towards. This card represents what you're headed towards this September. And we have, more swords. Oh my. We have the King of Swords. Well, would you look at that? Alright, the feeling I'm getting here is that you're not moving away from ego, you're maturing the ego. We've got this progression here from the page to the king. And what that tells me is that I think in the month of September, I think you're going to get your hands around your ego a little bit better. Well, that doesn't even make any sense. Okay, you're going to get a better grasp on the ego. You're going to start using the ego to work for you. And when I say ego, I'm talking about your logical mind, your brain that makes logical connections, that solves problems. Using that for the highest good. And I think that's kind of one of the goals of breaking out of our programming, is realizing that the ego is doing too much and that we need to use it for what it was intended for its intended purpose, and really scale back its importance, scale back its role in our lives tremendously. And I think that's kind of going to be the theme of September, is figuring out for you how to do that, how to move away from anxiety, how to move away from worry and doubt, so that, you know, these are all things that the ego does that it's not supposed to be doing. It's not supposed to be creating worry or doubt or fear or anxiety. Okay? That's the ego getting out of control. That's the ego overstepping its bounds, doing too much. And I think, Taurus friends, I think the month of September is going to be a chance for you to kind of pinpoint where your ego is doing too much, and try to say, you know, try to control it a little bit and put it in its place. Okay, let's move on. This card here represents what you should hold on to in the month of September. And we've got another page. This one's the Page of Cups. And this, to me, is like telling you directly, you know, embrace the heart, embrace the emotions. And the fact that we've got a page here is leading me to believe that you should, in order to compensate for the ego doing too much, let the child in you out. The child in you is the entity, the being within you that thinks that anything is possible, that will react on their emotions, that will be in tune and in touch with their emotions. If they don't love something, then they'll let you know. If they don't hate something, they'll let you know, or vice versa, whatever it is. They wear their heart on their sleeves. They act on their heart, on their impulse and their emotions. And of course, you can go too far into this energy. You can go too far into any energy, right? But I think what Spirit is saying here is that for the month of September, this is going to be important for you to go too far into the energy, because you've gone too far into the ego a little bit for a lot of you. And I think the best response to that is to go too far into the heart to kind of balance things out. So, if you feel like skipping work and going on the swings this month, go do it. It's going to help you get out of that ego mode, right? If you feel like having a lot of candy for a meal, okay, once in a while, do it. Okay, it's going to help you stay young. It's going to help you get out of the ego. The ego is going to say, oh, but I'll get cavities. Oh, that's not nutritious. Oh, I'll get diabetes. But the kid is like, I love candy. Why not just eat it for dinner? Okay, I'm not encouraging you to do that every night, but once in a while. That's just a poor example, but feed that inner child of yours rather than feeding the ego. That's what you need to focus on this month. So let's go on to this card, which represents what you should move away from this month. Taurus friends, we've got the 8 of Pentacles. Break away from routine. The 8 of Pentacles is like, I am good at doing this thing. I do this thing. I finish doing this thing. I do this thing again. That's kind of just lather, rinse, repeat sort of kind of feeling is that I'm getting here. Break away from your routine this month. Your routine has got you to this point where you may not necessarily want to be. So something needs to change, and I think it's going to start with your routine. What do you do every day? Really ask yourself this month, what do I do every day? And realize that the things that you do every day are making you who you are, right? If every single day you sit and watch TV, then who you are is going to be, in the near future, a very fat, slovenly person, okay? But if every day, no matter what, you will go run and jog for 30 minutes, might not seem like a lot, but if you do it every day, then you're creating in the near future a very fit, a very healthy, athletic person. And it all starts with your daily routine. So I think what Spirit is saying here is look at your daily routine, and if anything's not in alignment with what you're trying to create, then get rid of it or change it, or add to it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think the routine needs to be broken. Okay, Taurus friends? Alright, now that we've seen all the cards, I can definitely say that there's some maturity that's inevitable for a lot of you in September. And it's going to start with the mind, and it's going to start with kind of wrangling it in, putting it in its place, and making sure that it's doing its correct job. In order to help you with that, I think you need to embrace your inner child this month. Follow your impulses, follow your emotions, and don't be so analyzing. Don't be so critical of things. Get out of your head, get into your heart. And break your routine if at all possible. I think your routine has brought you to maybe a place of stagnation for a lot of you. Maybe a lot of you feel stagnant. And I think it starts with your routine. Whatever you can change in your daily routine is going to change your future. It's going to change your life. Because the things that we do every day make up who we are. So think about that, Taurus friends. And September looks like a time of transformation. But it starts with the ego. It starts with the mind. It's kind of the feeling that I'm getting here. So that is the reading for my Taurus friends. I hope you guys got something out of that. Remember to do all the YouTube stuff, the liking, the sharing, the commenting, the subscribing. I really appreciate all of those things. Remember, if you want a personal reading with me, you can go to my website, lightofraga.com. The link is in the description box below to book a personal reading. Alright, Taurus friends. Also, let me know if you prefer this style of reading or if you like the old month ahead readings. Let me know. Alright, Taurus friends. So, a time of transformation is upon us. It starts with you. It starts with changing your routines, to change the way you think, your thought patterns, and to become a more mature, evolved person. So, September is going to be a productive month for a lot of you. I can see it. So I want to wish you a great month ahead. I want to thank you for watching. Love and light to you all. Leave a like if you enjoy this. Happy taroting. Peace.